Well, we're back with the next video, which is basically the inbox review I was going to do in 2 or 3 days time, or next week. I decided to do it now, and then it's done and dusted and I can put it up ready for when I start. So anyway, this is the actual instruction manual, and a very nice one it is indeed. As I said, the model is actually made by Vanguard Models and by Chris Watton. Watton, I think is how you pronounce it. And basically it's a fantastic kit, and the customer service is brilliant as well, and that's all I'm going to say about that. It's really good. So here we go. So the first thing you do is you turn over, and this is what it starts. Now I'm going to have to keep moving it back and forward a little bit, but this is the actual history, the Hms Briggs Sloop Speedy history, and it gives you a run. Now if you wanted to freeze that, I'll leave it like that, you can actually read it. It is very good, and this actually goes through other commanders as well. It doesn't just go through Thomas Cochrane either, so it's pretty good because it was in service quite a while. And then turn over, and if I do this, that's the next page, and if you want to freeze that you can, and I'm going to stay, that's it, right, there's love. And then I'll turn over, and this is good, and then it goes into references you can use, and also there's the bit on the bit about the kit. I would read it out, but it would take for ages. But if you freeze it frame now, there you go. I've got quite a nice book on the frigate captains, and no doubt this ship might come into it as well. But I don't know. The next frigate ship I've got is coming on Tuesday, so therefore that I've got books about frigates as well, so that's quite interesting. Anyway, so there you go. So then we're going to turn over now, and I'm going to come off the table, turn it over, and come back in. And the first bit you get, it's a lovely ring binder, so me making a muck of it, but there you go. This is a bit more of it, Speedy version. This is 2023 version. They did an original one, and they made some modifications to the kit, and a little bit in the instructions as well. So there you go. But it gives a good view of what it looks like when you've completed the whole. All the way around there. It has got another deck below, and you've actually got a door that goes on the inside frame. I did notice that when I was looking through it, so quite an interesting thing. And coming over there, and it tells you all the things you need. Obviously PVA, super glue, they say thick and medium, which I've got both of anyway. Natural colour wood filler if you're gonna do any filling, but the idea is to try not to. But if you need to, you've got it. Indian ink for the actual rat lines. Yeah, there's a load of rats on these ships. Anyway, rat lines, and matte polyvinyl varnish and not satin or gloss, because they want you to use matte, and I must admit that's most probably a common sense thing. Black paint, and it gives you Humbrol colours in, Vallejo. I bought a paint set from him, which has got AK colours in, but it gives you all the colours for the ships, and I might show that when I get started with the kit, just to show you a little clip. Or at the end of this, I'll just flip off and give a last bit at the end. That's what I'll do. I'll put the paint set at the end of it anyway. Got it from Vanguard Models as well. Comes down all the colours: red, copper and clear epoxy resin or similar glue for clear acetate stand together, because there is an acetate stand, and you can see it in there. Basically there's a clear one, so it actually sits there. You can see all the details that wouldn't be otherwise covered, so that's good. Right, and as it's clear, I might get a case for it later on once I get to the finishing line, and put that in it, and actually I have to sort of glue the kit to the ship to the stand, and then secure the stand to the base inside the case. Anyway, that's for later, way done then. Now next one, turn it over. Basic tools. There you go. I've got both of these. That's okay, and I've got that one in a packet I've got to build together, even though I think I could have actually made one up and used that easy enough, but I've got that anyway, so that's okay. Be okay for the second ship as well. And then it talks about using. I've got one of these. I've had one for ages. I don't like it because basically I think it was Jason from Model Kit Stuff. He said about the dents, and you don't get a flush attachment, and I must admit I agree. I think the method he was using with the steam from a kettle was perfect, and that's what I'm going to do. I did do a test bit. I don't think I showed anyone else. Oh, I did. I showed Switter it the other day, but it does work really fine, and I haven't got it here now, but I did actually do it, and I got a lovely curve on it and turned lovely. So I'm going to go with the kettle steam system. I've got something similar to that, and I've got all the rafts that get stuff. But this is going to be quite a more small boat, so I might have to go a bit more gentle with it. So that most probably won't get used straight away. Right, and then to get into the basic part of the instructions. Now if you can see the numbers, there is actually a little number on each one, and you'll see that later on. And I'll just bring this in because this is a bit of the I cut off. I think I might say earlier on. Let's turn it over. Yeah, if you look on there, it's got number 1, and if you go see it, there's number 3, number 2 and number 1. So basically you've got 1, 3 and 2. So they're the slot places. So they've actually put where them particular ones gone. They're very obviously pretty valuable ones to put in. So you can see they put numbers on it, so it's quite, and you ain't going to see it, so it's quite good. So I'll put that back out of the way. I'll show you where it comes from later. Now there's a stand. I've actually got that made up. I'll do that now. There you go, straightforward. I cleaned up the parts. I haven't glued it because it's a snug fit. It really is a nice snug fit, so didn't have to do that. So then we got all these parts to break off and clean up. Now what they do is, if you can see down here, they chamfer them, and they say chamfer them a little bit, give them a start, and I most probably will do that, but I'll use these drawings to make sure I don't go too far. You can see the chamfer that sort of starts there and goes down, so I should chamfer it so that when you get it on there you haven't got so much sanding to do, which is quite a good idea. And you can see the part here, this one's part number 1. Yep, so that's what it is. So that number 1 is saying this part, and then number 3 and 2 is that's where they go. So I got made a bit of a boo-boo there, didn't I? But never mind. So there you go. And then basically it tells you how to put it back together. And these extra bits, these are the supports that go across, and you'll see that. And there they are in that bit there. You can see them in the place. And as you can see, there's a lower deck and then another deck above, and that's where the captain's cabin area is. So, or commanders in this particular case. And then you can see you just go through and follow the instructions very carefully and do it the way it's meant to be. And that's it for that bit. The next bit over here, and I think we mentioned 2 or 3 earlier on, and here they are. There's the numbers. Perhaps they do go into there. So carries on the project because you're basically exactly what to do. So if you follow the instructions, read them carefully before you do each thing. That's okay. And this, I saw Jason doing this on his way of doing it, and they've actually done it here, where you actually put more glue to make sure it actually fits in person and gives it more strength. Good idea, because you don't see any of this afterwards. There you go. You can see that bit went in, some of a bit more of a support deck there as well. And these are actually fillers. These ones go in between some of the actual frames. So there you go. They're the bulkhead bolsters. In other words, give it a bit more strength. There you go. And then these are clamps. I've got quite a lot of these clamps. I've got, I think, 2 boxes of 20 that I've been using on and off, and they're really good. And I think I've got the medium one, that was 20mm one, so I might need a couple of bigger ones, which I have got in the shed as well, so that's okay. So you can see it builds up quite nicely. Oops, the book's slightly offline, sorry about that. Then we turn over again, and now we're in this stage, and it gives you all these I'm going to give you the numbers again on these frame numbers, and gives you a bit more about the chamfering by the bevel, to give you an idea, to keep it as near to that, and then it shows you it going into place, and it shows you a good bit on the actual frames. And again, front angles and different bits and pieces here. It's really good, I must admit, the bulkheads, and obviously the deck's going in there as well. So we've already got the lower deck in, which is already on this one, and then they're talking about lowering the top end. Now I think it says that you put the deck on, but you don't do anything with it. Don't glue it down, or something like that, it said. So anyway, but I'll be following the instructions very carefully as I go. And over to this side, and there you go again. And as you can see, the cabin door I said about, so, you know, the captain's cabin door. If you're a master and commander on a ship, or a commander on a vessel in below the 6th rate, you're a master and commander, or commander. You're still called a captain. That's an honorary title, because the captain of the vessel. Because they used a captain. A captain. He was still a captain, but he was only a master commander in rank. So he wasn't a post captain. Yeah. The good thing about being a post captain is when you get once you get that rank, you are on your way to an admiral. And if you live long enough, you will become an admiral in them days. And it could be a yellow hat admiral, so you never did get a fleet, but at least you got to the rank of admiral, and you got the pension that went with it as well. There you go. So anyway, you can see the following instructions pretty good. There's some more. These are the bits at the back or the rear of the bow, near the cabin area. Or this bit is where you could actually fire guns out the rear of the sloop, when they used to switch to pull the guns around and they would be astern shots, and then if you add a gun in the bow, it build the bow chasers, and they used to do that. Big ships had Victory's even got ship guns that can fire out the front, so they did have the capability. So, and it comes on, and this is a top deck, and that's a flat one. You can notice there's no pattern on this deck, so that's the lower bit that fits into there for the actual build part. And then once you eventually remove these bits around the hole, you actually find that you're going to put the other bit on, but there's a bit more to do before we get to that. Right, and here you go again. It's a big old book, this is. So you're coming along again, and you're building bits and pieces up, and it's giving you an idea what goes on. You can see that the actual pattern there, and these come out, obviously. That's where the actual rudder comes down through underneath. Anyone who's watched, anyone who's building wooden ship, and especially if you're watching one, Jason's one, these we're building now, basically you'll notice that he did that on number, I can't remember the video, because I've watched nearly all of them actually. So, but you can see how you're preparing it and keeping it, and you can see these little bolsters you can see in the ship as well. So that they're the ones that we was putting in earlier. Turn it over. I want to keep it going because this is a big book. We're only on page 12. So basically, there we go. Gives you an idea, and you can see the way that the actual timbers are sanded down to give you that shape, so you actually get the actual flow of the water line, and because it has got a beautiful water line. And then you can see that back pit where the cannons could fire from the rear if need be. And then you can see the rudder place. And I think that's the place where the stairs go down to the captain. I think it's got stairs on this one. I know it definitely has on the frigate I've got come in. Might put a picture up of that in the next update, so you can see what I mean. But yeah, so you can see how good, well clean it is. Now, what I do like about this, and I have noticed, is this bow, the bow post comes round here at the bow. That's the centre piece. There's a bit that goes on either side. So when you've done all your planks, you actually have another bit that comes over, so at the join that's nearest to the actual this post here will actually hopefully disappear, and it'll look just perfect. And I think that's a really great idea. So there you go. Yep, we've done that. Number 12. And then here we go. Now steam's going to be the best thing to this. These are where the pegs come in really handy to actually get this in there. Now the good thing that I notice, if you notice there's a line that goes along, you see that line? That's actually on the actual timber, so you actually got that to actually line up against the deck level. So if you've got the line in view, you've got the perfect position for the actual deck when it comes in there. You can see that's just a plain deck. You can't see any timbers or what they call them, decking planks anywhere there, because the next sheet that goes in later on has got them on, as you're going to see. So as you see, you've got openings for it, and whether the actual two masts go as well. There's one hole for the mast, or in fact it's easier there. Oh no, it's there and there. Anyway, so that's that bit. Turn over, and now we get into, once that's dry, you can see that the shape's already been cut to get that to line up. So yes, a perfect look, a view for actually getting that right. And around the front you can see again. And it gives you an idea there. Because you do plank over this bit, or there is a bit that goes over there. I think it's got already plank marked on it. And don't get me wrong, I might be wrong. Right, here we go. And then it comes to this page, and it gives you this knife and pencil, and basically the principle of actually getting the actual camp. You have to basically cut the plank and give them a what they call it, an edging, to actually allow it to meet each one. And you can see what I mean by there. I mean, this is a bit of timber. We've got loads of timber, and I'm going to show you this quickly. I'm going to get this out later on. I'm not going to get it out. This is where all the timbers are, and all the timbers for the outer inner laying of the planks along the side of the ship, also a bit on the deck, and also you've got all the masts in there as well. I don't want to undo that, because once you do that, I don't want you to do that till I start. And so that's that. Right, so that's the page you can see. So there's a lot of information there to read. And turn it over, and here we go again. Now you can see they've actually shamped. The first one has got a very bit of chamfer onto it. very little, but it's looking okay. It just gives you such a good idea how to do it as well. And as it comes to back, you don't do so much chamfering, but there. And you overlow it so it goes over the back of this post, then you can cut it down afterwards. Exactly as Jason done it on the ship he's building at the moment. Then you've got, this is it again. Gives you a lovely view about that, trying to keep the timbers to look the same. He hasn't put no steelers. I don't think they put any steelers in this at the moment, and if it does mention it, most probably will mention it in there, but I can't see it. I think there's 10 planks per side, 10 or 15, I think. 15 planks per side. There you go. I knew 15 was in my mind, but it's 15 per side. So it gives you an idea. You put your 15 planks out, and then you work your way. I will work down one plank each side, keep doing turning. So, and I remember someone doing that because the fact is, it said it builds the stress up in an even way, so when as it dries in, it's got the same tension. That's what they say anyway. So I'm going to go with that anyway, because it's better to see it coming down bit by bit from my point of view. As you can see, it's there, and you can see that your bit of timber finishes just goes inside the actual bow post. So for one of you, and here's, they can see about how smooth that is there, and that's now they've tidied it out all the way around, but you've still got that plain bit of timber and that part of the keel, one of the peel inserts, decking inserts, you know, the actual frame inserts, I should say, the frame inserts in there. Basically you still see that, but you won't see that once it's finished. Then going on the other side, and there's the other two I was mentioning. So once you've done that, it's telling you about these two. There's the outer patterns, and when you do that, you actually get a lovely smooth thing, and you've still got a bit of room there. So there you go. And it's before starting the second plant. The keel and post needs to be fitted. So that goes in after you've done the thicker part of the timber to do the job. And there, these go on there now, and then basically there'll still be a slight recess in there for you to do your job. And there's all the place of actually doing that now. You can see it's sanded down already on this to make sure it all fits in and it's all flush. There you go. So it gives you a good idea how to put those posts in place, even the bottom, the keel one. And there it is. Shows you what number bits and pieces all the way around. And this is what I said. This is where I like it. It's actually got engraved stuff on the rear bits and pieces. Now I'm not saying that you can't not put that bit on and not put proper timbers on, and perhaps Jason will do that, but I may not. I think, you know, if that's going to look nice and it's going to, once you've got it all painted up, it's going to look great anyway. That's right, there we go. And you're actually putting the outer framework on there, which gives you all the patterns, and this is where, and these patterns that you can see drawn are where the other timbers go on as well. So this is an outer one, so it brings the thickness up this, and there's also an inner one if I remember right as well, so it's got to be done. So using all these again to do the job. Over there, was that 22? Yeah, that was right. This page is right. It always looks odd when you do it this way, but anyway, because it's the next number. But you can see where you've started the second planking, they're coming up, and it's thinner planking, so it should be a lot easier. And this is 23 coming all the way down, and you can see where the timbers, if you get it right, it actually slots into there, and if you can get the actual bits, so it's good. So it's 15 of these and all as well, and you start from just below the actual clumb platform at the top, below the deck, and then you come over this side, and that's basically carrying on to the end. And then you can see that it's finished now, and it's all tarted up and looks nice. I hope mine looks as nice as that when I've done mine, because that would really be good. And eventually you're going to put those out. See, the outer ones are on there, and that's actually, it's disappearing inside there, which looks really nice, because there's like a V there I think a bit like Jason did with his, he actually created a V for the recesses of the planks fitting in tighter to the actual bow post. There we go. Fit in the outer one. That's what you're doing, you're fitting the outer one. You've still got those little pegs in, you can see all the way around that part of the actual supposed to go, and then come over the other side. And now once it's all dry, I'd leave that overnight, and then they start cutting off all the way around. So now you're just left with that, and it's flush, and you've got to make sure you sand that down flush, get it flush. Now I remember seeing once someone actually started to cut on them, so when you went into it, it was okay, but you can actually do it quite cleanly anyway. So there you go. And these bits here, you can see that's where the post was there in the first place. These are markings for something else, and I can't remember because I didn't get it that far through the book. '27. I might have to skip through it a bit quicker now because this is getting a bit long, this video. I might stop it and have a part 2. But anyway, up to 27, there you go. So basically there, and another deck there. Now if you can see the deck, if I can get it up. Yeah, you can see the pattern on the deck. And that would be very similar to you doing the actual pencil mark on either side of a plank. If you can want to go to the plank, but I think that's going to look quite nice because it's only a small vessel as well, this one. Going round, and now you're putting the inner one. You see that inner wall? So it looks nice. You've got that lovely look about it. Well, all the way around. And I'll leave that for overnight as well to dry, even though white glue does dry pretty quick. And then what I might do is just get to where we finish the hole and then do the next bit when we get to go to the rigging, so that'd be okay. So this is what it might be. So going around and make sure it's all okay, and you can see bits and pieces. More testing the fitting, and it gives you other bits to start doing, and you can see the being put in underneath there. There it is. And 30. And again, it looks really nice just like that. That's when you call it finished. No, no you don't. Anyway, the main wall's fitted. There you go, it's all done. And it's still on the wooden stand because it fits perfectly on there. Over the other side. And now we're going to start marking up there. This is where they've got one of these. I've got a similar thing now anyway. And I think I did have one of those, and I might still have it in the shed. If I have one, then I could possibly use that. But it doesn't really matter, I've got the other one to use. And I've also got one of these. But I've also got a mini table saw, which I think I'm going to use for doing certain things. Because I think I prefer to use the blade. I'll give it a test run because I've got a bit of spare material to make sure that it cuts properly, and if it does cut really nice, if you go slowly, then I'll do it. This will work, but I don't want to put too much power on that because I use it for plastic. Right, and then it says about copper in this bottom, and these are the copper strips. Now what they've done is I'll come out. I'm not going to get out the packet once again. This is the copper strip that's in there. Self-adhesive. You cut it off to the lengths. And basically it says use the plans to count how many pieces it is. I think it says copper plates, and then you can actually use a rosy riveter. I've got one of those to actually put the rivets on, so it looks really good. And you're coppering up this, and if you can see there, it looks like rosy riveter, but I think that is true copper strips there. And if I can get hold of them, I'd rather do that, to be quite honest, because I think we're actually coppering it with real copper. But that looks pretty good as well if you have to do that. Next one. Oops, just done that one. Right, then you got to this bit, and so I'm going to do this as part 1 and part 2 when I get to the rigging bit. So there we go. So all the way through, and you can see the copper in. It looks really nice, and that looks like that. It definitely looks like real copper there, and they've actually used rosy riveter, unless they've done a really good job with it. But it does look like copper to me. And over there, yeah, I think that looks more like copper as well. So there's a rudder, and there's made up of 3 parts to give you a bit of strength there. And then bit further along, you've got the rudder built, you're doing a bit of painting now, and you're actually painting along here, along the wall that's black. And there's two bits here that go round here on the front bow where the actual ornament would be. In this case, they haven't got an ornament, it's just a nice fancy front. And that's what it should look like. And they've done a really nice job on the paintwork there, and a bit of red inside, like a red colour inside. That I've got that colour now in the set, as I can show. Yep, you can see what's going on. No problem. Bit of painting over the other side, and here we start putting the details in. You can see you have to put them across and then cut them off, and that's what they look like. The bits, and they've got numbered them as well, so you have to lay them out. I'd lay them out on that and number in a bit of paper as well, so you know exactly where they've got to go. And it talks about the other side of the gun, and it's this now you've got the numbers running along the side as well, and then carrying on, showing you a bit more back, snipping them away, and a little bit of a nice flory stick would do that bit of sanding on that. It'd be nice. And then basically you've got swivel guns on this particular ship because it is in close quarters sort of vessel. So you've got swivel guns, and there's our bases for the swivel guns. And you can see what he's done is it's been masked. It's been masked inside to stop anything going inside, because when you start spraying, if you're going to spray something, we'll do a bit of sanding. So that's not a bad idea. Stop anything getting onto the deck. You can see he's sprayed that colour inside. That's what he's done. I suppose it's a bit easier and quicker, especially if you masked it. Over the other side, finishing off round again. Shows you the stern, not gallery, because this hasn't got a gallery. It's got a stern gun port area, and it shows you. It looks really nice. It's going to be painted anyway, because a lot of this is painted. So, and then over the side, PE. These are PE parts, and paint yellow over there, yellow or orch. See spray paint there as well. So yeah, good stuff. And then is this one for yeah, that's all right. And then we got this. You can read it. You can stop this at any time and read it if you wanted to. So that's good. Gives you a lot of information on what you're actually doing. And that's what it looks like at the end when you're finished, and what colour it's got to be painted. Over the other side, pretty straightforward. And you end up with something like that. Then we get into the deck fittings. Yep, you can't go wrong with what the instructions are really good. And these parts are actually in the frets as well, you'll see later. And you have to paint them first, obviously, to get them ready for use. And over this side, bit of PE work. I hate PE. No, I don't. I quite like it now. Get used to using it a lot. So yeah, that's not it. All to do with the deck still at the moment. And here we go again, the pump. This is the pump, but they used to put strikes inside there, the post, and they'd all stand around and walk around in circles, getting the anchor up, or anchors. And there's the actual breech guns, the little ones, that go on the actual round the ship. And there's a close-up of it. I think they're 3D printed, I think, but I'll have to have a look later. And on this side, and you're making up the gun chassis. Trolleys I should say, with the gun on it and the wheels, and because I will want to put some ropes attached to this as they would have to pull them out, then bring them back in to actually load them up and then put them back out, and there's the tackles there. It's showing you a bit of tackle, but I've got a lot of instruction books which show you the exactly bits of how to do that. Number 47 gives you these are where the actual what do they call them, posts that go in there. So look, belaying pins, that's it, belaying pins, they drop in there. It's all to do with the rigging and stuff and bits and pieces, tie downs. And it was used to hit people on the head as well when he was boarding ships. So there you go. Right, I'm going to go to the next one. Yeah, there you go. And you're building up the stairs. There is some stairs here that goes down towards the captain's cabin area and to the lower decks. So that's that one. And if I come off, there you go. Some cupboards, bits and pieces. And we're starting the part of the rigging bits here. It's just start going away. All the tie downs over the other side, and now you're adding all the bits into it. Skylight, and there's the steps going down, and that does go down to just inside the entrance where the cabin door is, where it's into the captain's cabin. Oh no, that's down into the actual. No, that's down into the crew area. Yeah, because the one that side one must be for the captain's area. And might as well flick through and carry on and going on through. You can see where all the guns go there. These are good for general arrangement of deck fittings. Or for the front belt, and that's it. The pumps. Yeah, the old pumps, I think, for the old, if you have a leak. And then we start making up the boat. I think this one's only got one. On the next one, the frigate, it's got three larger boats as well. So you're doing a similar pattern to this as what you did for the main one. Over. Same again, decks, bits and pieces. PE stuff here. There is PE for this bit, because the boat is quite small. There you go. And then you get to there. And that's as far as I'm going to go. So I'm going to put a marker on in here, 56, and then I'll carry on with the rest of the book for the next time when I get to the actual rigging area. So you can see it. But basically that's where you end up with. And you actually get a little figure of a representation of Thomas Cochrane as well. And that's in 1/64 scale. So when you put him there, I mean, if you put him on if he's on the base, you're going to get a full sense. But you can actually put him on the deck if you wanted to. Bit unusual with the rest of the crew, but I might put him beside it if I do page it. Anyway, so that's it, and that's what we're going to be doing. So now what I'm going to do now is show you, switch off, and come back in and show you the bits that are on the frames and everything. Because when it gets to rigging, it'll be easy to show the bit of that bit when we get to it. So I'll see you in a couple of seconds. Won't be long. Right, and there's the actual one. The actual false keel came on, and as you can see, it comes out. I'll just put it back in there just so you can see how it was. And these are bits for the mast and bits and pieces later on, as I'm sure they are. And that I'm not sure what's on because I haven't seen the instructions completely and read from. So that is the first frame. So if I put the frame over here out of the way, the next one, I'll show you the next one. I actually took the stand off. And here it is. This is frame number 2, and I've done those, like I said, to push fit. So really well done. This is MDF, and it's got MDF number 2, so you can't go wrong really. So I'm going to put that back in its box. No, I'm not, because I want them first, don't I? Then you've got the next frame, which is number 1, which I should have showed you first, I suppose. But there she is. Just a bit of shaping involved. All the numbers are actually on each part, which is excellent, because I had to write them on the one that I've started that's in the shed, so I had to write, but these are all actually on there, so brilliant, well designed. And then we got this part's next. Oh, can get it all in, and it's the wrong way round. Sorry about that. There we go. That one there, and another one here, and I think I can put that the right way around as well. Oh, there's two here, so I might be able to get them all in. Who knows? There. Oh, I'll get two in anyway. There you go. And there's what I mean. It's all engraved, so it's really nice. Even these are engraved really nicely. Excellent kit. Really looking forward to building this one, I must admit. Well, I would be, wouldn't I? Right, and there you go. And here's another one. And this is the other parts of the bowsprit. You can see one on the left and port and starboard ones, and the rudder pieces, all three of them together. And there's the actual gun, and you can see it looks really nice. And it's just been printed on it. I like it. Then we've got some more bits. These are a bit thicker, as you can see. Oops. There you go. Leave that a couple of seconds. Oh, is there another one there? Here's another very fine one. And I can put it there. The right way out might help. There you go. Nice. Right, let's put this one on there, that one on there, and that one there because I don't want to break it. There you go. I might put that over there out of the way. And then you've got these. And then, oops, very nice. And two decks. I'll do that on its own because it's easier. And then there's this big sheet. And I think you could do the planking on those, but I think, you know, if you wanted to, or engrave the other ones. But they are painted. That's that one. And as you can see, that would be the one that fits over the top of it. And that's it. And I think I showed that one anyway, didn't I, earlier on? That's the lower deck. It's quite a thicker one, that one. It's got a bit of a strengthening plate as well. And then we have some photo etch. I'm not going to take it out of the packet like I wouldn't before. Whoops. Sorry about it. I don't know if I can get the shine out of the bag. Oh yeah, I can, like that. And the other side's upside down. But it's one of those things. So that's quite a nice set of PE that goes with it. I'll put that in the bottom of the box. And here is the clear stand which you can actually put together. And if it's anything like the actual one, I will put a bit of super glue inside, but it looks like it's nice. Should work out nicely. Right, that's it. So that is really it for this. So I'm going to show the rest because I've noticed it's just mainly pictures. You go by the actual drawings. There are drawings. So that's that one. Start putting the anchors together. Then over here you start doing the actual bowsprit ready to be fitted together. There you go. And the other bits of the actual ship. Nicely coloured ones. There's a bit goes at the front. And there you go. I'm not going to linger too much, but you can stop and read those if you want to. And there's a bit over here. very well detailed. It's a very good instruction. Shows you all the bit. There's PE parts that go on here as well. On the other side. Start getting the spider's web there. Because you're actually putting the rat lines over. He's put white paper behind so you can actually see what you're going to be doing with rat lines, I believe. That's what they said earlier on. There we go. And now that's the end where the Indian ink comes in, because you actually Indian ink the ones that go across, so they're not white. But it's good for standing out while you're doing it. Carrying on. This will be the bit, the long-winded bit as well, I suppose, because of all the rigging. And then that's what you should end up with. And this is just a bit of paint mark at the end. You've seen that one earlier on. There you go. And then you get a lot of information about each part. And there's a finished picture of it. And then you get to the end. So that is that. Now I will show you one thing. You get an exact one-in-one copy of all the sheets. The first few sheets are all to do, I think it's 4 sheets, all showing the bits and where you can find them. So you can find them on there, basically, or in the book, and then go straight to them. It's really good. And then you get some detailed things later on, which is well, they're over there. And lots of detailed drawing for the rigging. And they're big sheets, so they can get sort of thing an idea where they go and where they don't. As I say, when I get to this area, that's when I'll show you these drawings a bit better, because they're massive sheets. No need to be done downstairs. So there you go. So that is it then. That is the next build I'm starting next week, which will run until it finishes, and I shall be doing updates on it as well. But my other builds will still carry on. I've got a buddy build coming up after we finish the Nelson with Greg Riley. Then I've got another personal build, which will be an LCA, which you've already seen up gone. So that'd be the next one. And then for 2 days a week I'll be back on this ship. So that's it. And then after that, I normally, if I haven't got another build going, because when I do a buddy build with Greg, I normally finish with him because he does so much more physical work with his tanks to make them look so realistic, and they are 100%. If you took a photograph of it, you'd think it was a real thing in the field, as far as I'm concerned with Greg Riley's builds. So when I finish my Tiger to the degree I like it to be, it'll still be going on, and then I'll be back on this full time until he catches up and is finished. Then we're going to another buddy build. So that's the way it is. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you about this. This is all the fittings in the box. I forgot to mention that they're in this box, and I put rigging on this one, but it's just all the ropes that come in the kit for that. That's what you can see the rigging wise. So that's what in that box. So quite a bit there. The anchors look quite nice, don't they? I think these have actually been 3D printed. That's it, 3D printed. But yeah. So what an impressive kit. And the one afterwards, I'm going to be doing even more impressive, because that's a frigate. But this would be a great starter for me for that ship, because this one would be, it's got 2 masts, the other one's got 3, so good thing. I won't be using either design either. Anyway, I'll leave it like that. And thank you very much for watching this. I was going to do this later, but as you can see, I thought if I do it now, it's all done and dusted. So happy modelling, everyone, and thanks for the comment you made earlier on the first video, Jason. I did see that, and you are right, and evidently you're going to get this one as well. So you must probably build it and overtake me. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Happy modelling, everyone.